Hi, I'm Annie.
And I'm Kevin.
And we're Overcommitted.
Hello.
Hello. This is like the jump scare week of back to school, isn't it? It's like we go back after Thanksgiving break.
I don't remember what childhood was like with breaks.
Yeah.
But it wasn't this.
No, California schedule is different, I think, than anything I lived through. I also
you
don't.
haven't lived through a lot. I mean.
I also don't remember my childhood much.
Yeah. I remember.
I blacked significant portions out.
I just remember the holiday break being long and that being great.
I don't think it was 3 weeks long.
No, because I think we had off, I think we got off school like either Wednesday was a half day of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, maybe like a half week kind of situation.
And then you had Thanksgiving off on Friday and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you're back.
Yeah.
This is like a full week off.
Full week off for Thanksgiving,
2
and they
weeks
go
on.
back. I think this is because Thanksgiving was late this year.
Yeah.
But they go back for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Our kids go back to school so I don't know if everyone has our schedule. I guess I should say that out loud. But our kids were off for Thanksgiving for an entire week.
Yeah.
And then they go back to school for just 2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks.
And then they're off for 3 weeks. And I love my children, and I can't wait to spend time with them.
It's one of those things you just don't think about until you're a person who is employed.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is
I also will not
wrong.
be able to spend time with them. I will be working.
Yeah.
And trying to keep them entertained. I saw somebody earlier said kids should be able to watch TV. TV just shouldn't watch them. I know that's not the first time I've heard that, but I was like, oh man, that made me feel guilty for a second. Then I was like, what am I doing?
Also incorrect.
Of course it watches them sometimes.
Yes.
What?
It's
Not all day.
Fine.
But it keeps them busy and occupied while I'm on the phone with my boss who will be like, oh, your kids are there. I guess I should let you go.
They watch 3 hours of television, and then I take them on a 20-minute roller skate, and I think, man, I'm a good parent getting them outside. And
then they watch some TV.
And they watch TV and they go to bed.
I should say my boss says that in a passive-aggressive way. It's not in a genuine,
sure.
oh, your kids are there. I should let you go.
Oh, sure.
It's like a reminder to dock your paycheck for having children kind of a way.
Maybe we should go back in the office. Less sounds.
It's distracting you. I can tell by your work. Not wrong. Our daughter has been doing something recently. Our lovely daughter. We don't deserve her.
What's happening?
She's been doing this thing lately where she just sometimes goes, I think I need a break. I'm going to go outside for a little while. And I'm like, oh, God, you're better at parenting yourself than we are at parenting you.
She's great. She really likes the swing. She just goes out there.
Yeah.
And you just wonder too much. Although we're getting close. We're getting close to that point as parents where you're wondering what they're thinking. And you do that forever. You've done that since they were a baby.
Sure.
And you continue to do it. We're actually getting to the point where it might be a thing. Not that it wasn't a thing when
What do
they're
you mean?
younger. Well, like she goes out on the swing. You're like, is she okay? What's she thinking about?
Oh, and she
Is
might
something
actually be going out
troubling
there to
her?
be sad.
Yeah. And we've been doing that since she was 2.
I know.
And we do it with both of our kids. And I think all parents do it. And you just overthink things. And now it's like, oh, it might be. It's not a good thing.
I probably creeped her out this morning because it's no secret that we let our kids sleep in our bed sometimes too much. And we had to put our foot down like a year ago and be like, once a week, you're allowed to sleep in our bed.
Weekends.
It's
not once a week.
Well, we meant it to be once a week. And then we were like, and on the weekend. And then she was like, sweet, all weekends, anytime. What if it's a long weekend, all 4 days?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just gotten out of hand.
We don't necessarily do that. But anyway, last night she was struggling to sleep. And I was struggling to sleep. And I was in there laying in her bed. And I hate laying in her bed because she has a massive fear that the bunk bed is going to fall on her brother.
Uh-huh.
And I also have that fear, but I don't like to tell her that.
That's wild.
I know in my head it's not going to. Anyway, so I was like, let's move this party to my bed, go to bed, go to actual sleep. And all night last night, I don't know if you noticed, but she was talking.
Just chit-chatting.
Moving around, sometimes groaning, like she was in pain. I'm sure she's having deep dreams.
Grinding her teeth.
Grinding her teeth. This morning when she woke up, I was like, hey, is everything okay?
Oh, no.
Anything you're dreaming about? Anything you need to talk to me about? She's like, what? No.
Is this a strategy? Is this a strategy to get her to stop sleeping in her bed?
No, I guess just like you said, things with kids can be nothing or they can be something. I was like, you had trouble going to bed and then you went to bed and you had really upset dreams.
She's really chatting.
Are you okay? And she's like, yes, I'm just a child. And I was probably fighting dragons or something.
Oh, that's fun. I want to do that.
But she was like, I don't remember my dreams.
She's really chatting them through.
A lot. More than normal. What?
Just like her mom.
Oh, but not last night, was
No,
I?
You weren't last night. But you do. You do chat
Yeah,
sometimes.
I'm a chatty sleeper.
That's where she
Sometimes-
gets it from. And then when
sometimes
she
I
sits in her
chat,
bed, I
sometimes
got
I
two
clap.
of them. And that's fun.
Sometimes I get up and I walk around. I do stuff in my sleep.
You haven't walked around in a while. Have you?
No, not for a while. I don't know. I don't think it's been a long time since I sleepwalked. I feel like I sleepwalked some. Maybe the last time, unless you can remember another time, was when we were like deep in the throes of newborn. I remember the time I came out of our bedroom and I was looking for the second baby.
Oh, yeah.
That was with a kid, wasn't it? Maybe that was
Um,
with Lucy. I think that was with our 8-year-old. So I think it was like 7 years ago.
Yeah, you.
8 years ago.
That was a wild time. You did jump up a lot. And
Yeah.
was like, where's the baby?
Well, I think it's because you're so sleep deprived and
Yeah.
you go from not having a baby, but being terrible sleeping pregnant, like pregnancy sleep's awful.
Uh-huh.
Then you have a newborn and it's usually sleeping in your room somewhere right next to you. So we had like a little rock in place, since been recalled.
Since been recalled for like snipping off limbs and stuff. So that was a cool thing
Luckily
to
she
find out.
survived that. And it was right next to our bed. And then, like, I don't know, 4 months or something, we move her in her room. So then she's in her bedroom
Uh-huh.
all by herself. So I think it's just like that. I don't know, it just plays with your head.
Do you, it's going back to that time with our first, do you remember we were in our apartment, we had everyone imagine a dresser, and then next to it is like a basket shaped like a better way to describe this, like a treasure chest. The thing we still have, like the wicker
Oh, yeah.
kind of
It
chest.
could be used as a laundry basket. That's been the idea since we bought it 10 years ago, but it usually just is where we stack stuff.
Yeah, it's another kitchen counter.
Yeah.
For clothes.
Yeah.
But I remember because we were in a 2-bedroom apartment, pretty small space, especially the first couple of months. They're sleeping in our bed with us, and I remember bringing her and then putting the changing pad on that thing.
Oh, yeah.
So you had to kneel down to change her,
Yeah.
which I loved because I was so tired. I don't know what your
Yeah,
thought was
well.
now that there's distance on it. I loved it. That I wasn't
Oh.
like standing and swaying. I was just kind of like, I'm almost there. You're almost laying back down. Change her. Swaddle.
I don't remember
Pick her up.
loving it. That's funny. I don't even remember that we had it there.
I thought it was so clever. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it today. That
Yeah.
sounds awful. I'd be making noises, getting down to my knees. I know it's like a dad joke, but I would.
Yeah.
You'd at least hear exhaling. We would know when each other was done changing the child because you'd hear.
All right. Okay.
But I remember thinking that was such a clever idea. I was like, oh man, it's just like you kind of like you're almost there, as if kneeling is
I
comfortable.
remember
which
someone
it's
told us
not.
that you should get just a changing pad. You don't need a changing table because it's just going to change the baby wherever you are, whether it's like on the sofa or
Yeah.
on the changing pad. But then I think that I even took that a step further and I would just change the baby on the sofa without a pad.
Oh yeah, when you're.
I guess once you got cocky with it, once you're like, there's no way she's peeing while I do this.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that logic.
Yeah.
I definitely was like, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I got real cocky. I
Did you ever get peed on?
never got peed on.
Me neither, I don't think.
Both kids never got peed on.
We were pros.
We were pros, and I remember somebody said, "Man, write in." I've said this before. I'm not saying anything new, but write in if you don't agree with me. Somebody said, "There's no way you can clean a kid in one wipe," and I was like, "Bet." I definitely did it.
Oops.
Multiple
Number
times.
twos?
Number twos, yeah.
Well, I would stand by that person. I also don't know why you'd want to.
You just could. I'm not talking about like the early days. The early days where it's like the La Brea tar pits. I'm talking about like.
What are we talking about?
I'm talking about when they clip one off and it's just.
Well, yeah, once they're a little cigar cutter, they don't even.
No, they do need a wipe. don't do that.
They don't even need it.
Oh, it looks good under there. You're
Just
fine.
put them under the sink and bidet 'em.
See you at the next oil change. On your way.
A baby bidet.
Should we move on and talk about it?
Talk about what?
Talk about what? What did we do this weekend?
Oh my God, I forgot how long the first part of this week is.
So we went to the LA Auto Show.
Oh, I was hoping to know whether or not we got completely
Hosed or
hosed or not by now, but I haven't had a chance. I need to do that today.
not? Okay. So we went to the LA Auto Show.
Yeah.
And
Which, like, just for no reason. Like, none of us are car people.
well, I got invited for the Dumb Dance.
Right, you got free tickets.
and that
So
was
then we
cool.
went. just completely like just to kill a day.
Which was
I mean, there's something. It's fun to do.
it's really fun to do, and I can see how I can make you a car person. I really enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
had fun with I had fun seeing the cars, and I definitely was like, oh, I could see how people get into this.
I
This
guess I only
is
say that because
fun.
our whole weekend became like, what are we doing?
Well, yeah. But I thought it was great. The kids loved it. They had so much fun. It was fun because I got to stay overnight, so it was fun showing the kids being like, that's where I slept.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? Because I slept over at the car show. Go over to the Dumb Dads. Find out why. But while we were there, we ran into somebody that was doing a thing.
God, it's one of those things where the minute someone pulls you over, you kind of know you're in a like, oh, what are we doing?
100%.
I don't want to be here. But you and I are both like Midwestern nice, even though you're from Boston.
Yeah.
And we have trouble. I feel like there are times where like these people, these like barkers, whatever their job is to like sell you something. It's like the key is to kind of be a jerk. You can be like,
you don't have to
short,
do barkers.
at least.
Barkers
Just
can just
short.
be like, no, I'm not doing it, man. No. Just firm.
Yeah.
Annie, firm, not a jerk.
This woman basically like led me without touching me over to these computers and was like, you can win tickets to the Grand Prix. I don't want to go to the Grand Prix. I mean, I would go to the Grand Prix.
I would go to the Grand Prix.
But I'm not the audience you're looking for. But I would go for sure. I'm sure it's very fun. But like, it's not something I've ever been like, oh, I really want to go to the Grand Prix.
Yeah, sure.
Not entirely sure what the Grand Prix is, if we're being honest. I know it has to do with cars. Anyway.
You're doing great so far. Yeah, no notes. It's great.
So she pulls us over, and I'm like, oh, God, I feel like this is like one of those, like, they're selling you something things, but whatever. I'll just put my name in this computer, and then we'll walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Put my name in the computer, and Kevin's putting his name in the computer, and the lady is like,
what are the odds?
oh, my God, you both won.
We both won? That's insane. That never happens. How did you both win?
We both, like, we know what's happening. We know we're getting sent into some thing.
I knew when...
We should have known exactly, but we didn't. But this is like the third time this has happened to us, and the other two times we like randomly narrowly escaped, and this time we just didn't.
Yeah, we got picked, and then they set us aside, and they were like, I didn't pick up on it because I'm an idiot.
Uh-huh.
And I'm a little too trusting. I think my lizard brain knew something was up.
Yeah.
That we were stepping.
Oh, I felt like we were making eyes at each other.
I definitely thought like, what's going on here? I didn't know what it was. You knew what it was. So she was just like, oh, we have a new hotel. This is the Wyndham. And I was like, oh, okay, this is the Wyndham Hotel. This is like, that's on the up and up. That's okay.
Sure.
And she's like, if you just take a tour of our hotel, we'll give you guys a 3-night stay at a hotel. Or it was like a couple prizes. And but one of them was a 3-night stay at a hotel. One of them in Palm Springs near my parents, although there's other options as well. So it was just kind of like, oh, we'll take the hotel.
Right.
Let's do that. And they were like, if you can come in the next week, then we'll give you $100.
It's like we were getting so host because the way she said it, it made it sound like it's basically a downtown Disney. So you're going to get free tickets, free parking, and then you can just walk over to downtown Disney if you want.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you $100 dining credit to somewhere at downtown Disney.
Yep.
Is the way it sounded. And we were like, okay. And I could tell pretty much right away. I didn't know for sure, but I was like, this is like timeshare nonsense.
I didn't know that. I didn't pick up on that.
But I've actually never done a timeshare presentation. I feel like it's something I've seen in 90s sitcoms.
Yeah, it's been the scam since we were kids on sitcoms. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I didn't pick up on that because I also just thought a timeshare was like, you want to go in on this house or this one hotel?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was what they were saying it was.
Now it's like a group of hotels across the world that you can.
So the more we talked about it, the more we were like, oh, what did we do? Why did we do this? This was probably a bad idea.
And the reason that we couldn't get out of it is because she's like, to secure your spot for all of these gifts, I just need a $40 deposit.
I need a $40 deposit.
Which, like, $40 is not enough to necessarily.
We're going to get it back if we go. And she's like, we're going to get it back if you go. And I was like, sounds good. And then you started getting cold feet.
Immediately. Like, as we're walking away, I was like, why did we do that? We should go back. I don't know. This is stupid.
I slowly got more excited.
Yeah. You were like, it's going to be funny.
I got excited. Then that morning, because we just signed up for the next day, we woke up. I woke up. I think you'd gone for a run.
No, I went to my haircut.
You went to your haircut. That's what it was. I knew you weren't home. I just remember you walking the door and you went, I don't think we should go.
I didn't say that. I spent the whole morning, like looking at TikToks of people who've gone to timeshares,
Yeah.
trying to get strategies.
Yeah.
I spoke to the lady that does my hair. She was like, my in-laws actually own a timeshare. They love it. And I was like, not you too. Are you in on this?
Love it.
And then, so I just came in and I was like, listen, we can go, but we have to have a plan. I also thought, should we just not go and just like say whatever to the $40?
Sure.
That would suck. We would feel like we got scammed.
As soon as I was like,
But
no, let's go, then I got really excited because I am an idiot that I don't pick up on those things. But if I know what I'm walking into, like, I'm not going to walk away with like, I gave away,
No.
I bought a new car and I paid for a hotel. Like, I know that's not going to happen. So I was like excited to be like, let's see how nasty is this going to get? Like, I'm like kind of now a little morbidly curious.
yeah, because I saw some videos where like, it's no big deal. You'll get out of it real easy. And I saw some where like the person kind of got aggressive with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, I knew we were going to walk out not buying a timeshare. Like, I was never worried that we were going to get a timeshare. I was worried that we would have to be mean to somebody to get out of there, or that somehow we would then go down there, not get the gift that we were promised, and have just wasted a day making our kids go to this stupid thing that our parents got roped into.
But we played it well. So we drove down there knowing we were going to go to downtown Disney.
Yeah, the whole plan is we were
the
always going to go
reward.
down to Disney afterwards, so it's not a total waste of a trip.
Yeah. And we went there and we were good. We were like, which I want to do in general, but like not let the kids go on screens in car rides when it's like, it's not necessary. It's only off.
I feel like we've been a lot better about that for a while now.
So it was especially good for this one because they were like, no, you can listen to music.
Because you're going to be on screens the entire
you're gonna be
time
on
we're in
screens
this
for
place.
however long this is.
I don't want to hear you to hear.
I also don't want them to talk to you.
Right.
So as soon as we get there, I get my $40 back. Boom, we're already doing great.
Yeah.
I mean, we're broke even. You know what I mean? The house got our 40 out the gate.
I'm so curious to know how many people have done these things, and it, like, are people listening like you guys are idiots?
Evan and Katie of the Dumb Dads did it.
Oh, really?
I talked to them about it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Or are people like, no, we did it one time too? I just feels like, listen, I'm 41, you're 40. It feels like we're too old to have done this for the first time.
Yeah, no. Why haven't we done this?
It seems like something we would have been swindled into 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it also seems like something where you would have probably had to drag me out of there because I'd have been like, it might be a good idea.
Luckily, we are financially unable to
No,
acquiesce to anything that was being offered.
Right
so that was the great thing. I watched it. I will say, again, knowing I wasn't going to buy, and I still knew I wasn't going to buy. I will say, watching the presentation, I was like, whew, man, this is pretty.
They do a great job.
I was like, this is pretty dialed
Yeah,
in.
they're salespeople who are good at selling.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, well, I guess.
There were some moments that were like, oh, okay.
Yeah, there were some moments I was like, this is a little too. I feel like you could put a Bible and ask me for money for the church. Like, it just seemed.
Yeah. It is funny that right as we got there, we're sitting in the lobby and our daughter's going to town on some complimentary hot chocolate. Just loving it. And people start coming out and they're grabbing families one by one. I'm like, oh man, we're not going in as a group. This sucks. And each person that comes out, I'm like, oh, I don't want him. He seems really good.
And we got him.
We did get him, but he was kind of with our whole group, not just with us.
Right. It wasn't an individual thing.
It did turn into a group project at times.
I remember thinking, and this is just one of those moments where you're just like, are people not thinking logically, or is this as stupid as I think it is?
Yeah.
And we walked in and there was 2 TV screens in this conference room, and one of them, it was like a big commercial. So it was like one person talking on one screen, one person talking on the other screen. I was like, oh wow, this is really, I'm gonna put some money behind this commercial.
Yeah.
Because like it needs to be on 2 screens. And like one guy was like, hey man, why aren't you at work? Are you sick again? And he's like, no, I'm golfing because I got my timeshare. And then he's like, you got a timeshare, but like it costs money. And he was like, not as much as you think. And then it just said like, timeshares are too expensive. Debunked. And I was like, that didn't debunk anything. And there was like 4 of them that were like that.
Yeah.
And I thought I could have watched 50 of them. I thought that each one was as entertaining as the last because it was literally no information was offered. They just went like, nah, man, like I've got like the coolest house around. I thought you lived like in a small little home. Nope, I don't. big house to buy. Like it didn't make any sense.
And it was all like the whole presentation was very confusing, but it was all about like points and like how many times you can travel. It was all very
Credits.
confusing, but it did seem more expensive than I actually would have guessed. We didn't actually get to the place of financial breakdown. I mean, we'll get there. I guess we should talk the whole thing, but
Well, it didn't make sense because they brought up like around $200,000 is how much you're going to spend roughly over the course of the next 20 years, vacationing, blah, blah, blah.
I couldn't run those figures, but it didn't make sense to me.
Figures didn't make sense. And then, but more importantly, it was like, for a fraction of that, would you guys love to do, vacation for the rest of your life, however long, 30 years. And I was like, sounds great. And then he never said what the fraction was. And then when we got the breakdown later, it was about the same as the 176,000. Then I was like, I don't understand this.
I don't understand what's going on. Yeah, it was. Anyway, then we're in a room and the presentation is great. I will say the way he kept talking it did work on me in a way that made me go, man, I need to be better about work-life balance. It did not make me want a timeshare.
Oh, interesting.
Because he kind of kept talking about like we lose time every year. We don't travel enough. We don't get to go places. We don't get enough time with our family. And the whole time I was like, yeah, man, the problem for me here is not that I don't have a place to go. It's that my job is like way too stressful.
Yeah.
And you're making me think about it. But also there's nothing I can do because this is where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very strange. I will say the one really big like dog whistle, or I don't know what it was a little bit like, he kept saying, or would you rather be at a place like this with like-minded individuals? I don't know if you heard that. He said like-minded like at least 6 times. And I was like, I don't know what the like-minded is, that we all have enough money to buy a timeshare, or like what, that we all want time with our families.
I think it was supposed to be that. I think it was supposed to be taken
It
as
felt very culty to me.
Sure.
Like-minded individuals.
Sure.
I was like, I don't know what would really draw these people all together except that.
Yeah. The culty thing also like drew me in though. I was like,
it had
man,
very cult. I've watched so many documentaries about
I get
cults.
so excited about it because it was
Yeah.
like a little out of body experience. I don't know if it's because of my age. I'm older. I'm more confident a little bit in myself.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, God, I'm not buying this, but I could watch this for a while
I know.
longer. This is fun.
The way that it started you with like, where do you want to go?
Yeah.
And got you daydreaming, and then went into and just even like the room it was in, like a very conference room. I was like, wow, this looks like videos I watched of like NXIVM cult. Teaching people to get what they want before they ended up branded and following a mediocre man.
Yep. And I handled it about as well. Like as much as I was having fun at the same time, I was just like staring at my empty bag of chips being like, man, I really want another bag of chips.
Yeah.
That's how kind of like enjoying / bored I was with it.
Uh-huh.
I was coming in the ebbs and flows of it.
Well, as good of a job as they did, we had to be there for 2 hours to collect our gifts, as they say, and it felt like 5. It was so long. It felt so long that we were there.
It was only 2 though,
It was
right?
only 2. Yeah, we had
Yeah.
left maybe 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is all something I was aware of. I really wanted to make sure we were out at 2. Because they said, like, they'll try to keep you.
They'll try to keep you. They did not try to
They did not try to keep us. I think we did a really good job.
Yeah.
I was constantly analyzing every part of it. There was
trying-
one point where the like conversation went towards like spending time with your family. I've told you this. And I like instinctively like wanted to put my arm on you or like rub your back because you were sitting kind of in front of me.
Yeah. You
And
just felt like rubbing my back.
yeah, just they were talking about time with family and how important it is. And I just felt like, kind of rubbing your back. And I was like, don't do it. They're watching you. They're going to see that you're weak.
Why did you become Southern aggro?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Take your hand away.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. So I did not rub your back. And then I feel like we did a lot of other body language cues.
Yeah.
I was analyzing every part of it. When he asked us where we wanted to go, I knew you were going to say Italy. So I said Norway, so it wouldn't look like we were aligned with our vacation plans.
I thought you were just trying to give options because you were a fun team player.
No, I want to go to Italy first.
Okay.
I would also love to go to Norway.
I'd love to go to Norway.
But I didn't want them to know we were on the same page about it.
I would like Norway better.
Because I thought they might target us and be like, look at this place we have in Norway, Italy specifically.
Right. I also didn't take any notes. They were like, please take notes.
No.
Please write down 2 things that you're interested in. And I was like, I don't think that was more chips I wrote. I was very hungry. But then at the end, they sat us all down separately.
Yeah.
This is the moment. And
After showing us this gigantic suite that was, I'm sure we'd never.
4-bedroom suite
Gorgeous.
in the hotel.
Stunning. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Huge. Top floor, obviously, 'cause it's the suites. It's great. It was beautiful. Then they separated us. This is the moment. This is where they get you.
Yeah.
You were stone cold.
Were you proud of me?
Yeah. I was, because I just leaned forward because that's just what I do.
I was so amazed that you noticed my game.
Yeah, you did not lean forward at all. You
I
stood back in your
refused
chair.
to lean forward. He was like writing numbers on a piece of paper and it was far enough away from me. There's no way I could have seen it. And I
No
was just
way.
leaned back. Mm-hmm.
I was leaned all the way forward, being like, why is she's really leaned back there? She's really just staying back where she is. I was like leaned over like, oh, interesting. Okay.
I probably seemed like such a weirdo. I was just trying to be politely no. A polite no the whole
It
time.
worked because the guy had us in and out. In
He
like
did. He
5
was
minutes.
fantastic. He knew our game. He was like, you're just
Yes.
here for the gifts. That's fine. And so far the gifts have been bunk.
So, yeah, $100 gift card to a restaurant. Restaurant.com, which is like 20 off of 100 or 5 off of 25, things like that.
Which is fine. We'll figure out a way to use it probably. Maybe not. I don't know.
We're going to use it at least once.
Sure.
We'll have stubbornness.
Yeah.
And then the 3-night hotel, we'll see what that even.
And then I haven't even started to look at that yet.
Looks like
but I'm
it's
afraid it's
probably
going to be another one of these like
$100 really off.
yeah.
Not really a 3-night stay.
Yeah. End up not being worth it. You could just get a hotel that's different for the
Same
better
price.
price.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe it's not. Because I did see a lot when I was like researching it. People were like, go for the gift. If you can go for the gifts and be strong, the gifts are great and they can be great.
Yeah, and that's when I got excited about it. But I was like, I don't know that I want to do that again.
No, I would never.
Would never.
Well, I don't know. I guess we'll see if the hotel is worth it. But it seemed like
Yeah, I think we have to see what the hotel
it seems
is
like a little bit scammy in the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. And we got out of there so easily. It wasn't a bad experience from that standpoint of view.
What was very funny was, so we're waiting to be there for 4 hours. I'll end it with this. Gonna end it for like 4 hours, but it wasn't. And the guy sat us down and was very much like, you guys interested? We're like, no. He's like, cool. I'm gonna get you guys out of here.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we're like, oh, okay. And then he crunched the numbers with us real quick. So he's asking us what we do, and I tell him about the dumb dads, and you offer nothing, and which is great.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, I'm just going to go talk to somebody. You're going to have to talk to somebody else. And then we're going to get you out of here,
Yeah.
which you had read.
I was like, this is the final boss.
Final boss. And this is like, they're going to be the hard one who's probably mean
Yeah.
and aggressive. And I was like, all right, cool. Just like keep it cool. I'm still doing well. I'm not mad.
He looked at me and I had smoke coming out of my nose. I
Yep,
was like,
you were angry. You were just like white knuckling
nobody's
the chair.
getting me to buy nothing.
Nothing. So I was like, all right, it's fine. It's going to be fine. I'll be able to handle whoever they throw at us. Same guy comes back and he's just like, crunches numbers for me real quick. You interested? No. Great. Let's get you out of here. Let's get you your gifts. And I was like, oh, wow, we really did do a good job.
Yeah.
Because they didn't even a little bit
No,
do
they
that.
canceled the final boss.
Canceled the final boss.
Yeah.
So I was like, great. So then we went to the counter, got our 2 gifts, which
Yeah.
was just paperwork to sign up for the thing, which we have to mail one of them. And then we're walking out the door, and then some guy comes chasing after us. And he's like, hey, hold up. And I was like, no.
This is the final boss? They sent him to chase you down the
And
hall?
he's like, why don't you come back in here? He didn't say that. But that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. I was like, come on, man. Oh, no. And I turned around. He's like, hey, man, I just want to say my wife showed me your stuff. It was really great. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Are you a little bit like, oh, God, I'm recognized here, though?
No.
I mean, it's his spot, so he works there.
Yeah, no, I didn't at all. But I was just like, I really was like, oh,
Yeah.
no, this is how they do it now.
It's the weirdest thing. It reminds me of like door knocking for political candidates. It just seems like the worst way to do things. I'm sure it probably isn't. There's probably some,
What other way would there be to sell a timeshare, though?
I don't know.
I can't think of a better way.
I guess it just feels like you're relying on tricking people or getting people who
Correct.
are bad at saying no.
Correct.
Maybe that's not totally it. Like, because the place was nice.
The place
There's
was, like I said, it's
definitely
Wyndham. Wyndham is a very nice
positives
hotel.
to it. So I get the want for it. I also don't at all.
It was
I want
funny
to pick different hotels and I want to go to different spots. Like, I don't want to stay at the same place every time.
yeah, I feel like that would get old.
Yeah.
I remember thinking
There's going to be some continuity between
mm-hmm.
hotels at a corporate chain.
I remember thinking when we were driving away, we were going back to downtown Disney, I was like, man, if you had a lot of money and you traveled a lot, maybe that'd be good. But I kind of had the same thought. I was like, I feel like you'd want to try new things. Oh, you know what? If you travel for work, no, your work pays for it.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't really
yeah.
wrap my brain around. Hey, if you own a timeshare, good for you.
Yeah. No, I could see the perks to it. Just to go there every year, once a year, and to go to Disney or something would be like fantastic with the whole family.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was not for us.
Not for us.
And we're just too poor.
Just too poor.
Ha! You can't get us if we're not.
Can't rob us if we don't have any money. Thank you.
I have a budget. This is not in it.
But that was
it was a hell of a way to spend a Sunday.
It was great. I loved it. I didn't regret a second of it. We went down to Disney, had food. It was great.
It was great.
Went to the Lego store, bought the kids, something small.
It's very small.
I was like, this is great. This is a
Legos.
great day. I'm happy with all of these choices. Went to downtown Disney, which, okay, shots fired. I didn't think downtown Disney's holiday setup was very nice.
Yeah, that was part of the big draw. I was like, I bet
I was
downtown
excited for this
Disney
to be
will
our first
so
Christmas
beautiful right now. Unless they're just like late in decorating. It was just kind of one big tree and that was it.
I don't think a place like Disney is late in decorating.
I guess
they
you're
had
right.
one big tree and then they had like 3 like all light, like wire all light trees.
Yeah.
Couple, holiday giant ornament balls here and there.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, I was like, I was disappointed.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, I love a downtown Disney-like place. I love a theme park without the rides. You know what I mean? I love the worst
Disney.
Parts of amusement parks, like
what
just
if you
the
give
consumerism,
me all the fried food and products
and shopping.
Yeah.
I don't really even usually buy much. I just like the vibe.
Yeah.
I like the vibe of a mall.
It's like an outdoor mall.
Yeah.
But Disney mall. But it was. I'm
not proud of that. It's not very appealing. I don't think. But
I think it's fun. I think it's fun to go. Like you and I love to go to the Grove.
Yeah.
Which is a big place here in Hollywood, in LA, and it's this big outdoor shopping area, and they do a great job with the holidays.
Yeah.
And it was set up when we went there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was expecting more of that. I was expecting snow, maybe.
Snow, and I was like,
yeah,
loud Christmas music.
They did have a performance, but it wasn't until like 6 or something, and we were there till like 5.
Wouldn't have made up for it.
Yeah.
We got out of there. But other than that, it was fun. It was a fun day. But it just is a marker of age that I was excited to go somewhere and be like, you're not going to get me.
It wasn't as bad as I thought. It wasn't as good as I wished. So all in all, just a regular day.
Just a day. Just a day of parenting. That's a great way to put it.
And our kids didn't hate it.
Our kids were great. They handled it really well.
Yeah.
And were like, cool. What are we doing now?
Yeah. And I love that they weren't like, are we going to stay here? They were just like completely okay with it. It was like, you're never going to see this place again.
Well, they were great when we saw the 4-bedroom.
Yeah.
They were everything the salespeople wanted.
Yeah.
They were like, this is amazing. I want to live here. Let's live here. I want this. And they were like, it's great, right? It is great. And I was like, don't talk to my child.
Yeah. Also, though, it had 2 balconies very high up. So guess what? I'm not interested.
It had a regular balcony, which I loved.
Made me nervous the whole
time. Smoker's
time.
Balcony, which is just for, I know, smoking.
Praying
but it's
your
really
child doesn't climb over.
I mean, sure. But mine was more of like vertigo.
Also that. Yeah, it doesn't feel nice being up there. It feels like weird. And
yeah, I think you'd get used to it really quickly. But
I would never.
Why would you want to get used to that?
What if the bolts aren't in tight? I'm not used to that at all, ever.
Name once that's happened.
I think I know one story.
A balcony just fell off?
Yeah.
In a hotel?
I don't know where it was. I heard about it one time. It must be true.
Some dad probably built his own balcony. And then...
No, I think there was a story of it. Anyway, it's probably sad.
Okay.
I'm sure it's sad.
Let's keep it light. Let's keep it light.
So I was thinking we should do a segment on this show.
Okay.
Try and put some order into this thing,
Let's get some order. Everybody's like, this is just
chaos.
Which is exactly where we are in the world of parenting.
Yeah. So it's called the struggle bus.
The struggle bus.
And you're going to tell me in what way are you on the struggle bus this week? We'll figure out a better way to intro it.
Sure.
So Kevin, in what way are you on the struggle bus this week?
I feel like I am not. Is this the right word? Cleaning? Or
Yeah.
as much as I want to be.
Yeah.
The garage is a disaster.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't know. Just I don't need to get into the details of it. But I'm definitely on the struggle bus of just cleaning, and I don't know if it has to do with my schedule, but I think part of it's just unavoidable,
Yeah.
which sucks.
We've talked about this before on here. There is something about like always just cleaning the clutter and never getting to get to the actual like next steps of like what we really need to get done.
Yeah, and that's really been a struggle bus for me,
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
And I feel like this week especially has been a week of like, well, there's nothing you can do about it. It's not bad time management.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, this is your life now.
Well, Thanksgiving just went away. Christmas is coming out.
Yep.
We've also been doing our Christmas. This is so weird. We've been doing our Christmas decorations in such piecemeal. You decorated mostly, completely actually, outside for Christmas on
My dad
the
helped.
day after Thanksgiving. Sorry, yeah, I meant as far as like using me as a teammate. I was not there for you. And then
That's how we do it every year.
So the outdoors got decorated day after Thanksgiving, except for our inflatable dinosaur, which came in the mail a couple days later because we had to replace our old inflatable
snowman.
R.I.P. snowman. We got a tree. We were going to do it Sunday night. We got back too late. So Monday night, right after work, we got a tree. But you had to do something for kind of work on Monday night. And we were going to decorate and just push it till late, but then that would mean your friend and partner was going to be late, working late too. Yeah. So we just decided to just put up the tree and then
which I think we did last year. I actually think we did exactly that last year. Because I do this thing that my dad does where I like to intertwine the Christmas lights up against the trunk of the tree.
Yeah.
Which is really hard to do because all these branches are in your way. And that takes me like an hour to just put up the lights. And that's just my thing that I like to do it because I think it makes the tree look pretty. But it does take a long time. So if we're getting the tree at 6:00, it's like, nope, don't do that. No. Don't start the lights.
So then you did the lights during the day on Tuesday, and then Tuesday night we decorated the tree.
Yep.
And then, here we are later in the week, and we still have not put up like any decorations around the house. Like no stockings, no things that we put up.
So the struggle bus for you would be Christmas decorations?
Yeah, I guess so. That I feel like we can't do everything at once ever lately. Everything is like in pieces.
It is just like 20-minute fragments of chaos of just or 20-minute fragments.
Yeah.
Is I feel like what we're dealing with right now, and it is overwhelming and annoying. I think I need to get better about a list.
I know. I need to get better about keeping my nose to the grindstone, but sometimes you just want a break. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the middle of the day working, sometimes I'll take a little podcast break and I'm working, but I'm definitely not focused working because.
Can I tell you something our daughter said?
What?
So last night she had, she struggled with tennis, with being a good little helper of getting the balls and stuff like that. So you took her to tennis and you would talk to her. So then you talked to me about it. So I went in there to talk to her, kind of being good cop a little bit, just what happened today?
Yeah,
man? I don't know.
I was a grouch.
Well,
yesterday.
That's not cool, right?
Yeah,
that's not hip.
Yeah.
She's like, why are you talking like that? And but we were talking about it, and I was just talking about how it's important to kind of help out, and I kind of related that to our family. Our family is also like a team. That's why Mom and I we're gonna make you a list of chores, but there's certain things we shouldn't have to ask you to do,
right?
Cleaning up putting your shoes away, putting your backpack, getting rid of your wrappers,
putting on pants in the morning.
Mom and I are working a lot lately. Mom has been working pretty much nonstop.
Yeah.
I said Mom's been working pretty much nonstop lately. So all the help you guys can give is important. And she was like, Mom was sitting on the couch earlier. And I was like, Mom was on her computer on the couch with you guys earlier. And she was like, I saw her on her phone. And I was like, okay, she's allowed breaks.
She's like nonstop, my
you said nonstop.
On TikTok for at least 5 minutes.
Swiping, ordering things.
Wow.
That's so funny. I was like, oh man, we are getting at We were getting at a vicious age.
with my computer on my lap.
Yeah, like your still work is within grasp.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I guess you're coming up for air."
Yes. Yes, child, I am. That's funny because I told her I was grouchy yesterday, and she gave me a pep talk and was like, "It's okay to have grouchy days. It's okay to have tired days. It's okay to have sad days. Sometimes you just need to take some deep breaths." And I was like, "Okay, thank you."
You can sleep in our bed tonight.
Sometimes those talks really get you. You know, they become like a Full House moment with the music playing in the background. Last night I was like, "All right, okay, thank you. That's great."
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
Yeah, I've had that too, where they sometimes say something like, "Oh my heart."
On a different day, this would be so
Some days
cute.
just
But I
like,
think I'm
put
tired.
on your shoes.
Yeah. Sometimes kids need reminders too. No, we're not doing that right now.
Not today, ever.
I don't need
Stop.
you preaching back Daniel Tiger at me. Put on your shoes.
Daniel
Anyway.
Tiger deep cut.
I know. I miss him.
Oh, I think that's a great place to leave it. If you guys haven't done it yet, please rate and review this podcast.
And
on
check
Apple
out Wyndham
Podcasts.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, check it out. And if you're interested in buying a timeshare, we can help you out. We know a way. But yeah, rate and review this podcast. And every little bit helps to push this podcast. You guys can email us over overcommittedpod@gmail.com if you want to just tell us a funny story, ask us a question,
Yeah.
just anything. We'd love to read one on
Maybe
the podcast.
someday we should do a Q&A episode or something.
we'll do
That'd
it,
be
yeah.
fun.
Something like that. So write them in. We'd love to respond to your emails.
If you want to follow me
Mhm.
on social media, I'm Annie LaFerre, Annie.LaFerre on TikTok.
I'm at KevLaugh, and I'm also at The Dumb Dads on all social media.
That's it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.